Hello, welcome to the Isto James channel. Welcome all you art fans, you Star Wars fans, or anybody who's just curious about what this is fans. I want to thank you for taking the time to check this out. Now, we're going to be talking about the Star Wars drawing that I've done here. So I don't have a time lapse of me creating this picture, but I did want to share with you because it had such a pivotal role in my art lifestyle as what you see today. I've been doing art most of my life, if not all of it, but I was also a professional musician for many number of years. And while I was doing music, I wasn't focusing as much on art. The reason it all came together and worked for me in this sense is because this painting got me back into it. Because this drawing got me back into it. And here's how. So I was actually in Laughlin, Nevada. We were doing weeks down there as far as performance goes, and so once we were done with the show, I would go back to my room and I wouldn't have really much anything to do. I didn't know anybody in Laughlin, and I didn't want to just sit around the room watching TV, so I started bringing my sketchbooks with me. I started drawing a whole lot more. Now, I had gotten this really big sketch pad for Christmas once, and I was like, I gotta start using this. And the funny thing happened is, if you know me as an artist or watch any of these other channel or the other videos on the channel, you'll notice that I'm a really big fan of lighting and light sources. So I saw this awesome picture that I used as a reference of Yoda where he was holding a lightsaber and it lit up his face. And I thought it was really cool and I wanted to draw it. I thought, hey, this would be fun to draw. And so I kind of started sketching it out a little bit, and then my really good friend Jeremy, who actually does a lot of the behind the scenes work and a lot of the video editing, or if not all of the video editing that you see on this channel, a very good friend of mine, he was like, hey, if you're gonna draw that, maybe you could get some tips from this guy, Matt Busch. So we didn't get to meet him personally or anything like that, maybe in the future, but maybe we'll put our link or his link into the description so you could go check that out. But I started looking into this You Can Draw Star Wars by Matt Busch, and he gave me actually a lot of great tips that helped me create this in the first place. So if you're interested in drawing anything Star Wars, please go check it out. It helped me, hopefully it'll help you. So let's talk about this. So when we got into this and I started drawing it, I told myself I want to complete something. A lot of my older drawings before this were just sketches in the sketchbook. I didn't really complete anything. So this was one of the first things that I said, I'm going to complete it. I'm going to see it through to the end. And it took me hours and hours and hours to do over weeks, periods of times. But every minute I spent doing this, I had a lot of fun except for one. I'll talk about that in just a second. But it started out with Yoda. It is just his head. I didn't know what else I wanted to do. I didn't have a concept in mind of what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to fill up the space. So we started with his head. Now he's got this cool light effect on his face that he's lighting up from his lightsaber. So you can see the reflection in his eyes from the lightsaber. And as I did this, I actually freehanded all of this. I didn't trace any of it. I just took the reference photos and I put it in there, and it kind of came to life as I was working on it. So once I did this Yoda thing, I didn't really know how to draw hair, but I was trying to capture pretty much every pixel, every brush stroke, every stroke of my pencil, if you will, to get these right. So the hair was the hardest part. But I really had a lot of fun making the texture, the creases in his face, things like that. And I was learning too, so that's really important. I always like to tell people it's okay to make mistakes. You got to push yourself. As good of a painting or a picture as I might do, I'm always learning something. So I learned a lot with this. So as I got Yoda's head in there, I also started thinking, hey, maybe I'll make it look like he's versing Darth Vader or something. Now, when you look at the stuff that Matt Busch does, he's really famous for doing some of these iconic posters from these movies in these older eras. I was using colored pencil. It made me turn to painting a little bit later. We see the black, I'll just tell you now. All the black and all the space I did at the very end. I drew all the characters in first, and then I did the space part last. I went through 2 full color pencils down to the nubs, and my hand hurt so bad when that whole part was done that I was like, you know what, I'd rather paint this than do it with colored pencil. I still work with both, but it did get me kind of more into painting. fun story. So when we look over this, I went to Darth Vader next. Had a lot of fun doing these shapes. I had to erase a lot. Again, I didn't trace it. I did freehand it from looking at these reference points, so I felt like I got a good handle on the proportions and things like that. But again, the whole process was just a learning experience for me. So it started to come together and come to life now when I'm looking at, okay, we have good on the right side and bad on the left side. What's their counterparts? I need to fill up this space. So what are the counterparts? So I was like, all right, I'll do Obi-Wan Kenobi over Yoda, and I started doing Obi-Wan over there. And you can see a lot of people don't realize that in his beard, I used a lot of greens and yellows and browns to get that texture. And again, it's something I learned through looking at Matt Busch's stuff is look at, if you're drawing these pictures, it's easy to put your own vision into it, but if you're looking at the exact things you want to make it look realistic, sometimes you're putting colors in there that you don't realize are there. So if you stay true to it, sometimes you get really cool effects like that using different colors. So of course the counterpart I thought with that was, okay, well, we'll put the evil emperor over Darth Vader. So I started doing that, and this drawing slowly came to life that way. I really had no vision for it. And then I thought, okay, let's do the Death Star. That'd be really cool. So at the bottom left, I did the Death Star, and drawing this thing was fun but tedious at the same time. And I was thinking as I was drawing this, I'm like, if somebody were to build this in real life, it's just, the complexity of it is mind-boggling. It's crazy how detailed this is. So I had a little bit of fun with that, and of course I had to find the counterpart. What's the opposite of the Death Star? The closest thing I could come up with was the Endor, the moon planet, I think, or it's just the moon of, I'm not sure what it is, but it's Endor. It's where the Ewoks live. If anybody wants to put in the comments something about what should have gone there instead of Endor, I'm all open to ideas about it. But that's what I came up with. It was just Endor, where the Ewoks live. And then I thought, okay, well, I really want to do the Imperial walkers, the ones that you see where they're walking through the storm. They look kind of like camels. Some people say dogs. I don't know, whatever. So I thought, okay, well, if we're going to do machinery in a vehicle, let's do the Millennium Falcon. There's iconic, right? So that one has a lot of technical bits into it as well. So that was a challenge for me because I don't usually do machinery. So that I had to work on that one a lot and be patient with it. And then so it came together, and then I finally came down to the TIE fighters and the X-wings. So in a weird way, I didn't intend to do this, but the whole picture has a lot of balance between good and evil, and I was really happy with how that came out. And and then I wanted to capture some energy or some action. So with the Emperor, I put his hand there with the lightning coming out. That was so much fun to do because that was the first time I actually even drew lightning, and it came out the way I really liked. I had to do a lot of research on how to do that, but that was the fun of the whole project. Then I thought, okay, what's balanced with lightning and energy? I just thought maybe do the engine stream or the light stream that's coming from the Millennium Falcon. So I tried my best to really balance this picture out. And a lot of people don't know that when they first look at it, but that's what was going through my mind when I did it. And then the middle here where there's a galaxy, it was just an empty spot that I felt I had to fill. So I thought, shoot, it's Star Wars, in a galaxy far, far away, let's put a galaxy there. And that was the fun to it. And I was gonna actually do the edges all black all the way to the end, but like I told you, with the colored pencils, it took me forever to get this solid black with colored pencils. So I kind of did this fun squiggly outline to save a little my hand, really, to save my hand from hurting any more than it did. And that's how I came up with this picture. And then it inspired me to continue going with art, and hopefully it inspires you guys in some way or form. If you're looking at my Boba Fett here, it's just something I'm working on. I'm not done yet, but that's why it's there. I always liked Star Wars, but once I was done with this, I really started to become kind of a Star Wars fan afterwards and really getting into it. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think probably should have gone there instead of Endor, or if I did a great job. Love to hear from you guys. Again, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. We will be posting. You hit that bell and you'll know when I post things for you guys. So thank you to Matt Busch for helping me out. Thank you to my girl Christine for helping me out with the setup here, and Jeremy, of course, for introducing me to the Matt Busch stuff and getting the rest of these videos out for the rest of the world to see. We love you guys. Thank you. Can't wait to see you again. Have a great one. Bye.